Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Committee on Appropriations meeting. We will begin with our first report, and it's going to be on HB 607. Delegate Carr.
Mr. Chairman, having voted on the prevailing side by which we laid 607 on the table, I would like to bring that back up and for a vote.
Second.
It's moved and second that we revisit HB 607.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And upon further review and analysis, it's been determined that this can be done with a minimal general fund impact. So I would move to report HB 607.
It's been moved and second that we report HB 607. Members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 20-0. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The next bill on the docket is House Bill 1514, which is your bill related to the creation of the Virginia Sports and Entertainment Authority.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to yield to Vice Chair Sickles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think you might have some opening remarks about HB 1514. No, we have to adopt the substitute.
Mr. Chairman, I move the substitute.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the substitute. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The substitute is properly before us. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As chairman of the House Appropriations Committee and a member of the MEI Commission, it is customary for this seat to carry MEI-approved projects of this magnitude. House Bill 1514 will create the Virginia Sports and Entertainment Authority for the purpose of developing a new sports arena and surrounding multi-use district at Potomac Yards. The vision is for the new sports arena to be the future home of the Washington Capitals and the Washington Wizards. The project will include an arena, a performance venue for concerts, and a district with food, restaurant establishments, hotel, and an office building for monumental sports. The authority this bill creates is authorized to issue debt to incentivize the recruitment of the teams to Virginia. The debt incurred for the development of the commission is envisioned to be repaid from a variety of revenue sources derived from the arena and the development surrounding the arena. This debt will be paid only from the portion of the state's tax revenues generated by this multi-use development, which includes sales, personal income, and business-related taxes. Other revenue sources to pay off the debt include tax revenues from the City of Alexandria, parking fees, a ticket tax, and the naming rights of the district. The substitute before the committee is the first step in a process of work to ensure we achieve the best deal possible for the citizens of the Commonwealth. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kim McKay, our analyst, is going to present the substitute. Please go over the details with us today. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Everybody should have at their desk a copy of this line by line. Since it's a extensive bill, I'm going to use the line by line to go over key provisions included in the substitute before the committee. You'll find on line 17 through 109 the key definitions section included in every bill. Just to point out a few definitions to the members. Lines 26 through 33, it defines the campus to include the arena, the performance venue, public plaza, retail food and beverage developments, company headquarters, practice facilities, broadcast facilities, and on-site parking. The substitute before the committee also adds a definition for the district on lines 42 through 47, and that includes the campus, hotel developments, retail, food, and beverage developments, office and residential buildings, as well as park and other open spaces. Additionally, on lines 72 through 80, it changes the definitions of sales tax revenue included in the original version of the bill to allow for the recapture of transportation-related sales and use tax to go to the authority to help pay off the debt. And finally, in the definition section, lines 97 through 102, it defines sufficiently funded to allow the authority to determine if they have enough funds available to pay off the debt and cover operations. Next, on lines 110 through 116, the members of the authority board. The substitute before the committee changes the membership of the authority board to include 15 members. These are 5 gubernatorial appointments, 15 legislative citizen appointments, 3 appointments from the city, 1 member of the company, and 1 member from Arlington County. And then on lines 117 through 139, the substitute before the committee changes the criteria for the authority board appointments to be centered on individuals with private sector experience. For the quorum section on lines 140 to 150, it establishes a quorum for the business of the authority at 8 members, and it requires of the majority of the quorum to approve the actions of the authority. On lines 151 through 171 outline the provisions for the executive director of the authority. Specifically on lines 153 through 155, a change to the bill adds qualifications for the executive director of the authority to have at least 10 years of experience in a government agency, quasi-government entity, or sports and entertainment authority. On lines 168 through 171, you will find a provision to require staff of the authority to be paid from the Commonwealth Development Opportunity Fund or budget appropriations until at such time the authority starts to generate revenues. The next section of the bill, the powers of the authority, on lines 172 through 213. This outlines what the authority can do as a political subdivision of the Commonwealth. Specifically on lines 209 to 213, you will find language that prohibits the authority from entering into more than one deal for sports arena and from selling any land related to the deal without authorization from the General Assembly. Moving on to the lease and development agreement provisions, you'll find those throughout the bill on lines 214 and 381. Specific lease provisions included in the substitute before the committee on line 232 and 233 allows the authority to receive revenues from the parking garage on site. It allows on lines 234 through 235, allows the authority to receive the revenues from the sale of the campus naming rights. On lines 236 to 238, and then on line 239, it outlines the specific assets that will be leased to the authority and allows for the city of Alexandria to develop and own the performance venue. On lines 243 through 244, it requires the lease for the arena and the assets to be equal to the term of the bonds for the company. Lines 245 through 248 requires a non-relocation agreement for the company, which includes a requirement that if the company pay outstanding debt obligations if they relocate prior to the lease expiring. And then on lines 249 through 251, it states the Commonwealth will own the arena after the lease expires. Lines 252 to 253, change the bill as a requirement to feature Virginia goods at the arena. Lines 254 through 256 requires 3 intercollegiate sporting events to be hosted at the arena. And then lines 257 to 263 requires both the team and the authority to carry appropriate insurance policies for their respective roles in the deal. Lines 264 through 265 adds a provision clarifying that the company is responsible for all utility payments related for leased properties on the campus. A new change to the bill, lines 283 through 301. It outlines the provisions related to operation and maintenance and capital expenditures for the campus, which provides $7 million a year for the team to cover O&M and capital-related expenditures with a 2% annual increase per year. And the authority would reimburse them for these expenses if they approve of the project. And then any overages are the responsibility of the company. And then it clarifies that the city is responsible for all such O&M and capital expenditure payments on the performance venue they will own. Lines 302 through 381, this is a standard language you'll see in these bills related to bond issuance. Just to point out on lines 378 through 381 of the bill, it reinforces the non-relocation agreements that I went over in a previous section. Finally, we have reached the creation of the Virginia Sports and Entertainment Authority Financing Fund. You'll find that on lines 386 through 437. And then specifically in this section on lines 414 through 429, this allows the city and the state to receive excess funds collected by the authority. And it provides a methodology for the distribution back to the city and the Commonwealth based on the taxes paid by each jurisdiction in the previous quarter. Lines 430 through 437 outlines what happens to the Commonwealth's distributions once we receive the funds. It prioritizes paying any transportation funds expended for the development around the arena first, paying it back if monies are expended for that purpose, and then deposits 50% into the general fund and 50% into the Virginia Housing Trust Fund. On lines 243 through 477, this requires an annual audit of the authority's book. Specifically, on lines 450 through 466, it requires the creation of an annual operating plan and its submission to an oversight commission created later in the bill, the Department of Planning, Budget, and Secretary of Commerce and Trade. And then on lines 467 through 477, it requires extensive quarterly financial reporting for the authority. Moving to the next section of this bill, tax revenue entitlements, line 478 through 511. This entitles the authority to state tax revenues to pay off the debt, which includes sales tax, personal income tax, corporate taxes, and pass-through entity taxes. Lines 494 through 504 requires the city to obligate revenues to the project. Lines 505 and 508 specifies if the city uncommits at any time of the deal, it directs the governor to withhold all funds from the city. Lines 509 through 511 is clarifying when that the entitlement to the state's tax revenues expires when the bonds expire that have been paid or when the lease ends. The next few sections are standard sections that you'll see in bills such as this, so I'm going to skip ahead to the creation of the Legislative Oversight Commission. You'll find that on lines 594 through 623. The Legislative Oversight Commission that will be reviewing the project includes the voting members of MEI, the Speaker of the House, and the President Pro Tem of the Senate. And then moving on to our enactments, we're almost there. Lines 624 through 637. This is standard language you'll find in these bills related to the appointment of board members to the authority. Enactment 3 on line 638 sunsets the authority by January 1, 2026 if no deal is reached. Enactment 4, lines 643 through 645 sunsets the authority if the city of Alexandria fails to enact its tax entitlements to help pay off the debt by January 1, 2026. Enactment 5 on line 646 requires all financing to be secured and legal agreements to be signed before the issuance of debt for the project. Enactment 6 on line 658 requires the Treasury Board to review the bonds for the project. Enactment 6 and 7, starting on line 662, overrides the code to allow it for us to use the dedicated portion of the sales tax for transportation for the project. And finally, Enactment 9 on line 687, it adds a reenactment clause to the bill. And Mr. Chair, that is the bill before the committee.
Thank you, Ms. McKay. We appreciate that overview. Are there questions from members of the committee? Please use your speak light. We're okay. I see none. Okay, Delegate Bulova.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I didn't want to go by that 9th enactment without kind of highlighting its importance to what we're doing here today. And so that enactment or reenactment clause would mean that this would not go into effect unless we acted on it as a separate budget next year. And so this keeps the ball moving along. We always reserve our right to take off that reenactment clause. But at this point, what we're doing is making sure that we have a vehicle from which to continue negotiations. With this enactment clause, it would not go into effect this year, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Thank you. I don't see any further members of the committee that want to ask a question. So we have a long way to go tonight with a lot of other business to take care of. So, and this process is going to take the rest of our session at a minimum to enact or not enact this legislation. So we're going to allot 5 minutes on both sides if people can oppose and in favor of moving forward with this project. I know that's going to be hard there's some out there who might have 5 minutes in just and that wouldn't even take a breath in 5 minutes. So, but if you would like to speak to it, please, yes, introduce yourself. Welcome. I know you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members. Jason Elkubi, CEO of the Virginia Economic Development Partnership. What this process would do is exactly what Chairman Torian described. This is a process that is intended to establish an innovative, unprecedented partnership among the Commonwealth, the City of Alexandria, JBG Smith, Monumental Sports and Entertainment to deliver a world-class entertainment district in Potomac Yard in the City of Alexandria, bringing 2 professional sports teams to the Commonwealth as well as the corporate headquarters, something that is unprecedented not only in the history of the Commonwealth but in the history of America. 30,000 total direct job impact throughout the Commonwealth, including 658 corporate headquarters jobs. The bonds for this project repaid exclusively through the team's lease payments, the project revenue streams, the new site-specific incremental tax revenues generated by the arena and Phase 1 development, all of which are paid to the authority. With this structure, only 11% of the total project cost is backed by the Commonwealth's revenues. And those are revenues that would not exist without this project. You've mentioned the dedicated major maintenance and repair fund, very important. This deal itself is innovative. It is also conservative. It mitigates as much risk as possible.
Someone else might want to speak. Someone else might want to speak in the 5 minutes.
And I will yield my time.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I am Monica Dixon, and I represent Monumental Sports and Entertainment here today. We want to thank you very much for your consideration of this unique project. We had some ups and downs along the road in our negotiations because all sides negotiated very hard and drove difficult bargains. But that's why we as partners are so excited to be here today in this first step of your consideration of this project. We believe that this could be a great new home for the Washington Wizards, the Washington Capitals, that working together we can create thousands of jobs, millions of dollars of revenue for the city and the Commonwealth, and of course, most importantly, many, many championships to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Councilman,
Yes, sir.
may you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. John Taylor Chapman, member of Alexandria City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I just wanted to say, since this is an iterative process, we want to thank you for allowing us that process to continue. We hope that we can continue to work with you, outreach to you over the next year, as this is a complex deal that continues to have further discussion. So we want to be a part of that. We want to make sure that you feel that we are reaching out to you as well. And I don't want to take any more of your time. So thank you very much for the
Colleague is
opportunity.
here too. Would you like to say something too?
Councilman Kaneki, City of Alexandria, exactly what my colleague just said. And just again, we'll be available to all of you at any point if there are any questions that need to be answered.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Eric Terry. I'm the president of the Virginia Restaurant, Lodging, and Travel Association. We put out a statement earlier this week. We strongly support this. As you know, our hotels were not treated very, very well by the pandemic, especially in Northern Virginia, and we think this would be a game changer. Thank you.
I think the 5 minutes have expired. Thank you so much. You can send us a letter, postcard. Okay, thank you. Yeah, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Mr. Chairman, welcome. Thank you very much. Andrew McDonald. I represent the Coalition to Stop the Arena at Potomac Yard. I'm a former vice mayor of Alexandria, Virginia. I urge you to vote against this bill. This is not a bill that benefits Virginia taxpayers. It's a bill that benefits the billionaire owner of several sports teams. The financing for this latest project is not significantly different than others. Taxpayers are being asked to backstop one of the largest subsidies for this sort of project on record. Sports stadiums and arenas are all money losers, according to sports economists. It's not surprising, therefore, that none of the economic studies have been released to the public. This includes a report by J.P. Morgan Chase, which owns some of the land at the. This means that Virginia taxpayers will be on the hook for paying off this mega debt at some point when the bill comes due. Alexandria residents are not fools either. They know that the traffic impacts will be horrendous and the traffic plan is not sufficient. They know this will hurt small businesses. We are poaching teams from our neighbors in D.C. and thus hurting our friends. This is a regional impact. This is robbing Peter to pay Paul. This is a bad deal for every taxpayer in Virginia. We are saddling our children and grandchildren with 40 years of debt payments to help a billionaire get wealthier and wealthier. This bill should be renamed the Glen Dome Billionaires Bill. It's not a monumental opportunity for Virginia, but a monumental train wreck. It should be sent to the scrapyard where all such bills should go. Vote no to moving this bill forward and save Virginians a lot of money. Thank you very much.
Chris McDonald. Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Fern Abrams. I live in Delray, Alexandria. I'm just here as a citizen. I'm concerned by this bill for a number of reasons that Andrew mentioned, but I'm going to focus on transportation today. There are two major roadways that can service the arena. Neither of them are adequate. There's no room for expansion. They're already gridlocked. There's a so-called transportation study. It's not a study. There are no sources. There's no calculations. There's no references. To call it a study is a travesty. We would like to have full transparency, and you should want that too before you vote on this. The Commonwealth has said that they're going to fix this. They've probably underestimated the cost of the necessary augmentation to the metro station that was just opened and is wholly inadequate to what the consultants propose. And they're going to do it by taking money from transportation dollars from all over the state. There are transportation needs all over this state that have been planned for, that have been studied. None of that has been done in this case, and you should not vote for this bill without a full transparency of where they're going to get that money and if it's actually going to be adequate and if it's actually going to solve the problem or if we're just creating more problems.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judy Miller, former president of a civic association, former president of the Federation, a co-chair of the Federation of Civic Associations,
Welcome.
and former president of the Alexandria League of Women Voters. I've been a resident for over 50 years in the city of Alexandria. I don't want to see it harmed. Why are there economists and professors in college that tell us that none of these promises of these arenas make money? Why do people like J.P. Morgan not finance these themselves? Because they do not make money. Take Glendale, Arizona, and study what has happened to that city. We do not want to be responsible for the revenues that this supposed grandiose, excellent people that revenue will produce is nothing but a promise full of air. I do not want this. The city of Alexandria residents do not want this. We want to have full accomplishment of the people of Alexandria to know what's going on. We would like to have more say in the matter, possibly a referendum of some sort. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Thank you for staying within your 5 minutes. Okay. Does anybody on the panel have a question for Ms. McKay before we move on to, or a motion is offered on the bill? I don't see any lights on from my colleagues up here. Okay, we've got a HB 1514 before us.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we report the substitute.
Yes. I'll second that. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1514 to the floor. If there's no further discussion on the motion, if the clerk could open the roll and members cast their vote. And the report with the substitute passes on a vote of 17-3. Thank you. Okay, I will turn the gavel back to the chairman of the full committee, and we can continue on a night's work here. Don't anybody leave.
Thank you, Delegate Sickles.
This is bill that had been heard prior to today, and we'll have a later HHR block before they had to.
Okay. Now we're going, I'll wait till folks leave.
I got-
I can't hear you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman has to leave, and I'm going to, for good or bad, I've got the gavel now. So we're going to proceed with committee reports, and Ms. Massard is at the podium to tell us about the report from the Committee on Health and Human Resources. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of...
Mr. Chairman, just for everyone's awareness, this was the block of HHR committees that were heard on Wednesday, and that will be followed by all of the subcommittees heard earlier this afternoon, including another block of HHR bills.
Okay, this is the first block from...
Okay, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, the first bill we have on our docket is House Bill 348, Delegate Ward's bill. This expands the provisions of paid sick leave. The subcommittee had moved to carry that bill over to the 2025 session.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we carry over House Bill 348.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we carry over HB 348. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving along to HB 515.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, House Bill 515 by Delegate Hope. This would allow the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services to create a pilot program, which would allow the hospital's director to discharge any individual over the objection of a CSB if the hospital deems that the individual is ready for discharge.
Chairman,
Yeah, Delegate Bulova.
I have a motion.
Please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report House Bill 515.
Second.
There's been moved to second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Members, please cast your votes. And HB 515 reports on a vote of 19-0.
Mr. Chairman, the next bill is House Bill 570. This is Delegate Delaney's bill. It establishes the Prescription Drug Affordability Board for the purposes of identifying high-cost prescription drugs, reviewing pricing and cost information, and conducting affordability reviews for the selected prescription drug products.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Bulova.
I have a motion.
Please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report House Bill 570.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 570. Is there any discussion on the motion? Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote on the electronic voting device, and HB 570 reports on a vote of 10-9. Ms. Massard.
Mr. Chairman, the next bill is House Bill 909. This is Delegate Shin's bill. It deals with the Medicaid waivers.
Mr. Chairman, I move the substitute.
All in favor?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded we adopt the substitute. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Substitute's before us.
The substitute eliminates the fiscal impact of the bill by eliminating the provision for respite care hours.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Please proceed.
All right, I'd move that we report with substitute House Bill 909.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, members of the committee, please make your preference known on the electronic voting device on HB 909 with the substitute. And the bill as substituted is reported on a vote of 19-0. Ms. Massar, please proceed.
House Bill 1185 is Delegate Willett's bill. This directs the Board of Health to report specific data elements contained in the SMART chart submitted to the Department of Health Professions Prescription Monitoring Program
Mr. Chairman,
related to
I have a motion.
opioids.
Please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report House Bill 1185.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report 1185. Is there any discussion on the motion? Members, please cast your vote on the electronic voting device. And HB 1185 passes on a vote of 18-0. Ms. Massard.
The next bill is House Bill 1455, Delegate Carr's bill, which would establish the Virginia Memory Project and the Virginia Center for Aging at the Virginia Commonwealth University.
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Yes,
motion.
sir. Yes, sir. Please proceed.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we report House Bill 1455.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1455. Is there discussion on the motion? Okay, members, please cast your vote. And the bill passes 1455 on a vote of 18-0. Thank you. And we are moving to HB 610. Michael J.
Yes, good afternoon.
Welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. There are three bills before the committee, all of which the recommendation was to carry the bills over. House Bill 610 from Delegate Price is related to the provision of diabetes services and requires insurance coverage and prohibits the inclusion of them in deductibles.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Delegate Bullock.
I would move that we carry over House Bill 610 until 2025.
It's been
Second.
moved and seconded. We carry over HB 610. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. J.
House Bill 1226 from Delegate Rasool deals with the Workers' Compensation Act related to coverage for PTSD and anxiety and depression disorder.
Mr. Chairman?
Delegate Bullock.
I would move that we carry over House Bill 1226 until the 2025 session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We carry over HB 1226 to the 2025 session. Any discussion? No, we don't discuss that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. The bill is carried over.
Lastly, House Bill 1374 is related to the provision of treatment for autism spectrum disorder and diagnosis.
Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we carry over House Bill 1374 to the 2025 session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we carry over HB 1347. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bill is successfully
And that
carried
is
over.
House Bill 1347.
Okay, moving to the Health and Human Resources Subcommittee.
Mr. Chairman, House Bill 218 by Delegate Orrock requires a provider that is going to be terminated as part of the health insurance carrier provider services that they would have to continue coverage for at least 90 days from the date of the provider's termination for the individual.
I'd move that we report House Bill 218.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 218. Any discussion on the motion? Members, please cast your vote on the electronic voting device. And HB 218 reports on a vote of 19-0. Ms. Massart.
The next bill is House Bill 787, Delegate Hope's bill, and this deals with the Administrative Process Act and appeals of case decisions regarding benefits that are provided through the Department of Social Services and the Department of Medical Assistance Services.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we report House Bill 787.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 787. Any discussion by members of the committee? Okay, let's vote on the electronic voting device. And HB 787 reports on a vote of 19-0. Ms.
Next bill,
Massart.
Mr. Chairman, House Bill 1499. This is Delegate Willett's bill concerning the Virginia Health Workforce Development Authority. There is a
Chairman,
substitute.
Delegate Bulova.
I'd move the substitute.
Second.
Substitute's been moved and seconded. You want to continue the explanation of the substitute?
Sure. The substitute makes a technical correction to the description of the graduate medical education programs for which the authority will have some responsibility. It also strikes the fifth enactment clause to remove any potential fiscal impact from the employer-led collective impact program.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we report the substitute for House Bill 1499.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we report the substitute to 1499. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Excuse me, but we have to vote on this on the electronic voting device. Please cast your vote. And the report with substitute to 1499 reports on a vote of 19-0. Please proceed. Ms. Cochran.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Last in this block is HJ 41, and there is an amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I move the amendment.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Amendment is properly before us. Please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, this amendment will allow the Joint Commission of Healthcare to study policy solutions to the fentanyl crisis in the 2025 interim due to their full workload in 2024.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we report as amended House Joint Resolution 41.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report the HJ 41 as amended. All, please cast your vote on the electronic voting device. Okay, the report as amended, 41 as amended, HJ 41 as amended passes on a vote of 19-0. Yes,
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
good afternoon.
Moving on
proceed.
to the Transportation and Public Safety Subcommittee report. First is House Bill 179 from Delegate Gardner. This bill eliminates mandatory consecutive sentences of imprisonment for 21 existing offenses in the code that do impose mandatory consecutive terms of confinement.
I would move that we report House Bill 179.
Second.
So moved and seconded that we report HB 179. Is any discussion on the motion? Members, please cast your vote on the electronic voting device. And HB 179 reports on a vote of 11-7. Mr. Reynolds.
Next, Mr. Chairman, House Bill 489 from Delegate Garrett. This expands eligible uses for local allocations from the Fire Programs Fund. The subcommittee recommended report.
Delegate
Thank you.
Bulova.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report House Bill 489.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, HB 49 is before us. Please cast your vote on the electronic voting device. And HB 49 reports on a vote of 19-0. Mr. Reynolds.
Next is House Bill 790 from Delegate Hope. There is an amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I move the amendment.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
This bill establishes a system of licensing, regulation, and safety requirements related to liquid nicotine products. The amendment just adopted by the committee establishes a reenactment clause.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I would move the report as amended, House Bill 790.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that report HB 790 as amended. Any further discussion on the motion? Members of the committee, please cast your vote on the electronic voting machine. And HB 790 reports with amendments by a vote of 18-0.
Next.
Mr. Reynolds.
Next is House Bill 801 from Delegate Rasool. There is a substitute.
Mr. Chairman, I move the substitute.
Second.
Substitute's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Substitute's properly before us.
This directs DOC to provide communication technologies to inmates at the lowest available rates, as well as prohibiting DOC from collecting commissions on inmate use of telecommunication services.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Bulova.
I move that we report the substitute for House Bill 801.
Second.
Substitute's been moved and seconded. HB 801. Members, cast your vote. And the substitute passes on a vote of 12-8. Mr. Jay.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 884 from Delegate Watts. This is legislation that only applies to Planning District 8, which is in Northern Virginia. It prohibits a car from having an exhaust system that emits noise in excess of 95 decibels, and it authorizes law enforcement.
I would move that we report House Bill 884.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 884. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, let's cast our votes on the electronic voting machine. And the 884 is reported out on a vote of 11-8. Mr. Reynolds.
Next is House Bill 1069 from Delegate Willett. There is an amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I move the amendment.
Second.
Amendments for us. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
This bill creates a registry of vaping products available for sale within the Commonwealth. The amendment just adopted, establishes a reenactment clause.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I move that we report House Bill 1069 as amended.
Second.
All in favor, please cast your vote on the electronic voting machine. And HB 1069 is reported with amendments on a vote of 20-0. Mr. Reynolds.
Next, Mr. Chairman, House Bill 1246 from Delegate Willett. This directs DCJS to establish compulsory minimum training standards for law enforcement officers related to autism spectrum disorder.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we report House Bill 1246.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we report HB 1246. Any discussion on the motion? Members, cast your vote on the electronic voting machine. And HB 1246 is reported on a vote of 19-0. Mr. Jay.
House Bill 1419 establishes a online portal at the DMV to allow for the online purchases of automobiles, and it requires them to set up a process to establish a power of attorney electronically.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Bulova.
I would move that we report House Bill 1419.
Second.
Moved and seconded to report HB 1419. Any discussion on the motion? Members, make your wishes known on the electronic voting machine. And HB 1490 passes on a vote of 20-0. Mr. Reynolds.
Next is House Bill 1496 from Delegate Rasool. There is a substitute.
Mr. Chairman, I move the substitute.
Second.
All in favor of substitute, say aye.
Aye.
Substitute's properly before us. Please continue.
The substitute before you directs localities to provide a list of surveillance technologies deployed by law enforcement agencies to DCJS.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Bulova.
I move that we report the substitute to House Bill 1496.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to report a substitute 1496. Any discussion on the motion? Members, please cast your vote. And the substitute is reported on a vote of 11 to 8. Mr. J.
Lastly, House Bill 1513 allows the adjunct general to extend online active duty service for a state National Guardsman who's been injured and cannot return to work. It extends it to 90 extra days.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Bulova.
I move that we report House Bill 1513.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we report 1513. Any discussion on the motion? Members, cast your votes. And HB 1513 passes by a vote of 20-0.
Moving on to the Commerce, Ag, and Natural Resources Subcommittee report. First is House Bill 316 from Delegate Bulova. This establishes the Virginia Recycling Development Center within the Department of Environmental Quality.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Delegate Carr.
I move HB 316.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 316. Members, please cast your vote. The bill reports 19-0.
Next, House Bill 892 from Delegate Bulova. This transfers the Office of Farmland Preservation and related programs from VDACs to the Department of Forestry.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Carr.
I have a motion.
Delegate
Move
Carr.
to move HB 892.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 892. Members, please cast your vote. The bill reports 20-0.
Next is House Bill 949 from Delegate Lopez. This bill establishes reporting, monitoring, and compliance requirements related to discharges of hazardous substances. The subcommittee recommended reporting the bill.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Bulova.
I move that we report House Bill 949.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report House Bill 949. Members, please cast your vote. The bill reports 11-9.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The next bill is House Bill 1125 from Delegate Carr. It establishes the Virginia Business Ready Site Expedited Permitting Program.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Sickles.
I move to report 1125 to give Delegate Bulova a rest.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1125. Members, please cast your vote. The bill reports 20-0.
Next, Mr. Chairman, House Bill 1186 from Delegate Tran. This directs DCR to establish a pilot program providing all-terrain power wheelchairs.
Mr. Chairman, I move we report HB 1186.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1186. Members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 19-0.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The next bill is House Bill 1261. There's an amendment.
Move the amendment.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. This makes permanent provisions of the code that expired July 1, 2021 related to unemployment compensation, and allows the overpayment of UI benefits to be forgiven by VEC under two conditions. The claimant's not.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate
I
Sickles.
move we report HB 1261.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1261 as amended. Members, please cast your vote. The bill reports 12-8.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is House Bill 1460 from Delegate Weber. This establishes a certification process for Virginia verified meat. The subcommittee recommended reporting the bill.
Mr. Chairman, I move we report HB 1460.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1460. Members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 20-0.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. The report of the General Government and Capital Outlay Subcommittee. First up was HB 102, Delegate Reeser. There was a substitute.
Move the substitute.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir. The subcommittee passed the substitute to vote 7-0. What it does is it raises the court-appointed attorney fees for indigent defendants. It also has a 6-month delay to implement system changes and grandfathers in the current fees paid by defendants.
Mr. Chairman, I move we report the bill.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 102 with a substitute. Members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 20-0.
Next up is HB 310, Delegate Hope. This bill increases the maximum number of judges in 6 judicial districts. These judges were all recommendations of the Judicial Council or Committee on Courts.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report
Second.
HB 310.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 310. Members, please cast your vote.
Next up, sir, is HB 502. As passed by the subcommittee, it was passed with the understanding that it would report with amendments that make the cost of the bill neutral.
Delegate Hayes. Turn your mic on, please. Bessie, turn yours on, please. There you go. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chairman. Upon further review, unfortunately, on this measure, we've discussed, determined that there are some physical implications, and we have also notified the patron of the bill that we're going to carry over the bills to 2025, and that's a motion.
Carry over HB 502 to the 2025 session.
It's been moved and seconded that we carry over HB 502 to the 2025 session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up, sir, HB 614, Delegate Price. This bill would allow inmates who are serving for the time that they spend doing work to count towards fines and fees owed. A reporter from the subcommittee, 6-1.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report HB 614.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 614. Members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 17-3, 16-4.
Moving to. Next up, sir, House Bill 824. There was a substitute.
Move the substitute. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The substitute version of this bill, sir, makes it so that indigent defendants, for amounts that they owe for counsel received, are at the rates as they currently are, as there are 2 other bills also considered that would raise court-appointed fees. It passed the subcommittee 4-3.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report HB 824.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 824. Members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 11-9.
Next up, sir, House Bill 857, Delegate Hernandez. This bill shortens the period of limitations for the collection of court fines and costs to 10 years. At present, it's 60 years from the date of offense or delinquency in circuit court and 30 years in general district court. It does the same for the period of limitations for incarcerated persons.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we report HB 857.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 857. Members, please cast your vote. The bill reports 11-9.
Next up, sir, House Bill 893, Delegate McClure. There is a substitute.
Move the substitute. Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Second.
Sir, the substitute version of this bill amends the court-appointed attorney fees this time, this time for child dependency cases. It also includes enactment language authorizing localities or local or private donations to establish an interdisciplinary law firm. Passed the sub 7-0.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pass HB 893.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we pass HB 893 with a substitute. All members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 20-0.
Yes, sir. Next up, House Bill 1273, Delegate Krizik. The substitute version, I apologize, there is a substitute.
Mr. Chairman, move the substitute.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The substitute version establishes a new section of code within the Virginia Public Procurement Act that requires capital projects to have a minimum 8% of total labor hours performed by apprentices. The bill has
Chairman.
provisions.
Delegate Bulba.
Move that we report the substitute to House Bill 1273.
It's been moved and seconded that we report the substitute to House Bill 1273. Members, please cast your vote. That bill reports 11-9.
Sir, House Bill 1348, Delegate Villar Bowling. The bill would require the Department of General Services to develop a strategy to increase efficiencies in state prescription purchases. The sub had voted to continue to 2025.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Bulba.
I move that we carry over House Bill 1348 to the 2025 session.
It's been moved and seconded that we carry over House Bill 1348 to the 2025 session. This is a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And we are there. We're on the last one. House Bill 1355, Delegate Tran. This makes amendments to the Information Technology Access Act regards to digital accessibility. The subcommittee voted to adopt amendments.
Mr. Chairman, I move the amendments.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. And Mr. Chairman, I would move that we report House Bill 1355 as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1355 as amended. Members, please cast your vote. Okay. That bill reports 13-7. And I believe that completes our docket for today. Everyone have a great evening. The committee shall rise.
All right.